Hey everybody, reflexive moon here. Today the moon is in Sagittarius, full moon in Sagittarius we're having. And Sagittarius energy, that's for Vedic, so it could also Sagittarius and possibly Capricorn in tropical. I didn't check that, I've just been looking at the Vedic sites. So Sagittarius energy is very independent, creative, and loves to travel, loves to learn. Really warm, I find Sagittarians, but also enjoy their solitude. So, this could be a good time for you to go out and go for a walk or go on a little mini trip. Also take some time to yourself to foster some of that creative energy that we all are always in need of. First things first, I am going to start off by pulling an oracle card, as per usual. Today I'm going to be using my trusty Music Oracles deck. And let's see who we have. We have Bob Dylan. There we go. Rolling Stone. How does it feel to be on your own? Alright, it feels great to be on my own. I mean, I have offspring, but I am the sole provider of this household. Alright, so where are you, Bob Dylan? What does Bob Dylan have to say? So nostalgia is for two-time losers. It's a little bit negative, but okay. Don't mistake that mansion on the hill for paradise. Word. Darkness may be falling, but we're not there yet. Okay. And even if we are, I kind of like the dark. That's why we do this tarot after dark. Midnight tarot. Okay. Technically, he is nothing to write home about. He plays the guitar badly, is terrible on the harmonica. His voice is anything but pretty, and he can barely sing in tune. Goodness gracious, this is quite harsh, critically. Yet Bob Dylan is the most influential white American musician that rock and roll has ever produced. Okay. Inscrutable and unpredictable. An incorrigible. Wow, they're using a lot of $20 words right now. I would even say like $30 words. Not really feeling these words. Anyways, an incorrigible butcher of sacred cows. He chewed up and spat out literary and folk traditions, creating a new, untamed, and elusive language of self-expression. Even after decades in the business, Dylan keeps rolling on, enveloped in a cloud of self-created mystery, stubbornly out of step with the prevailing culture and doing what he always has done, retreating in order to move forward. I personally heart Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan was like one of the first concerts that I ever saw in my life as an 8-year-old child. My mom was pretty cool. Is pretty cool. So, yeah. My favorite song is Rainy Day Woman. I also I just dig Bob Dylan. So thank you, Bob Dylan, for your fabulous contribution to rock and roll. Today we are using the Nature Spirit Tarot. Nature Spirit Tarot is otherwise known as the Native Spirit Tarot. Thank goodness they changed their abomination of a name. But there's a lot of appropriation in the metaphysical world of stuff to buy, basically. So I'll tell you firsthand that Native people have zero claim on tarot. There are some Native folks trying to make tarot decks and stuff, which is cool. We can basically take on and do whatever we wish on our land. But yeah, this book, I really like that it has, the cards have to do with, like, there's animals like bugs and birds mostly birds and bugs, and yeah, mostly birds and bugs. I'm not seeing any other animals. And then botanicals, like, so flowers, medicines, and also gemstones are a theme in some of the cards. But they use flowers as cups, and I believe those are, I think those are lilies, but I need to learn my flowers more. And then, like here, the wands are amethyst, and the pentacles are little flowers, and the swords are, I think they're actual little, like, daggery type swords. Yeah. So it's a good deck. It's a good deck that I'm glad is making itself less of an appropriation of Native culture in North America. Alright, so we're going to just do a general spread. Don't mistake that mansion on the hill for paradise. I really like that. What is it? More money, more problems? Could also be haunted. Right? So, concern. We have the Five of Wands. And the fives are... The fives have to do with conflict and disruptive change. So this has to do with creative energy, and conflict. So let's see what the book has to say a little bit, because there's quite a bit of information on the animals and flowers that are depicted in each card. So the Five of Wands has chamomile. So maybe there's a need to calm down, calm your nerves, relieve inflammation. I know that's what chamomile is good for. It's a very calming tea that you can make, and you can use it topically as an anti-inflammatory. It's really, really good. And then we got some beetles here. Beetles primarily represent resurrection and rebirth. They also symbolize shedding new light on problems and situations through more illuminated perspective. So there's our little beetles, our chamomile, and the Five of Wands says here, while this interaction does not have the potential for creative results, like the conflict that you could be experiencing, those involved will first have to put their self-importance aside and learn to work together. So this is about teamwork. How can you achieve that? How is it best achieved? And what are you doing to potentially hinder that process? What do you need to adjust? So let's see. Crossing. What do we need to adjust? Oh. Two of Cups. So relationships. There's an imbalance or balance. So find whatever you need to adjust to find balance emotionally, it looks like. And I don't think the cups represent love, but I feel like, you know, I mean, this could have to do with a relationship. This could have to do with conflicting energy and love. It also could be in the workplace, could be friends. I feel like there's a certain level of professional love that we all experience, right? I have love for my coworkers, even though they are not a part of my personal life. So that's real. Okay. Wouldn't the world be such a better place if everybody could acknowledge things like that? Or if workplaces all foster that type of attitude? Like, have love for your coworkers, even though they're not a part of your personal life. Why not? Here we go. King of Cups. We have this overlooking the situation. If the King of Cups is overlooking the situation, you're good. Like, emotionally, there's somebody that's taking care of things, that's nurturing, making sure that everybody is tending to their needs holistically so that emotionally they can be in a good place. This could be you. This could be, someone else in your life. Could be your boss. Could be like one of your parents. Someone who has like a very strong masculine energy, but is also emotionally intelligent enough to be in touch with their feminine side and nurturing components of that. Okay. Subconsciously, here we go again. More love. We have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups has to do with choices, decisions. Subconsciously, there are some decisions that need to be made. Let's look at that a little bit. I think it's safe to say that this is more of a love spread, given all of the cups that are coming out. So this has to do with potential. This card can reflect many aspects of your personality that has developed over your lifetime. So what do we have to choose? Like, where does the choice factor come in? So we should carefully consider the questions that are posed by the Seven of Cups with all the riches presented in the world of form, and see it here. There's like various forms of abundance within each of these cups. So which have the most value to you, and how will you choose what you wish to express in the world in terms of what has the most value for you? So will you choose from your heart or from your ego? What's more important, appearances or genuine presence, a genuine presence? And Judgment. I mean, this card has come up a few times in a few spreads for me. I feel like there's a lot of judgment happening. But Judgment has a lot to do with awakening and the message of awakening. And so this is in the past position, and it could be that, you've come from a place of awakening, which is, why all of this really great emotional energy, despite, an initial concern for conflict is a part of the question here, has come into play. So Judgment has to do with change as well. Awakening, letting go, like renewal. When you think of like one of the like in the Smith-Waite deck, there's people that are basically being raised from the dead, like the Day of Judgment, essentially. And so it's a time of renewal as well, spiritually. So you're coming from a place of spiritual renewal, and I think a lot of us are. The summer's here, and with the whole issue of the pandemic, like things are like looking up for a lot of folks, right? So it's good. And so immediate future, what you have to look forward to, the Queen of Wands. So that's a person who is very sound in their creative energy. So this could be you, but it also could be a mentor in your life. It could be a future partner, someone who's very nurturing and creative. And the Queen of Wands also has that fire energy, so they are balanced with their masculine and femininity. And I'm just trying to think. Almost like very fertile with their creative energy. Like, I don't want to say like impregnated, but I feel like when it comes to the Suit of Wands and the Queen of Wands, she definitely has to do with like the birth of creative energy, for sure. And the little bee here, it's an orchid bee. And in ancient Egypt, bees symbolize royalty. They represent other qualities as well, such as possessing the power of concentration, a quality that is demonstrated by their attention to harvesting tasks. And I feel like the wands definitely, like the Queen of Wands definitely has to do with harvest, for sure. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Harvesting and abundance. And this copper queen orchid is really pretty. Symbolic meanings have been cultivated around it, including beauty, strength, loyalty, and wisdom. So this queen is definitely centered in strength and loyalty. Okay, so your attitude. We have the Four of Swords. So with regard to like the conflict you're experiencing or have experienced, you're sort of in a place where it's like the calm after the storm, if that makes sense. Retreat and renewal, which definitely is relevant to this Judgment card. Renewal of energy, but in a state of retreat and rest. And then we have the Nine of Wands, and that's the point before completion. And I don't know what kind of, that's like a moth or something. Let's see what that is. I feel like the 9 is like guarding the fort. So the creative journey with the Suit of Wands, you know, it comes to a point where you have to sort of guard your essence and what you've built creatively. And this definitely is relevant to the Four of Swords that we've just pulled as well. But this is sort of like your outside influences. So people could see that you are on guard, and maybe they, you know, folks may feel like you have put up some walls, but they're also essential, because when it comes to like your creative energy, it's like your baby, right? Like you have to protect it. And if people are sort of energy suckers because, you know, you got the goods, right? Your ideas are amazing. I think it's really, I think it's one of those like necessary evils, right? A necessary evil. So you are aware that you have this inner strength and you're protecting it. And it's like, it's very tied in with, you know, what you're destined to do. Like this is your craft that you are now aware that you have and that you want to keep safe because it's sacred. So you're realizing how sacred your creative energy is and that you need to take care of it. And hopes and fears, we have new beginnings. So taking the plunge, the universal unknown. And finally, nice, we have the High Priestess. True awakening. Your craft and your whole self, your knowledge, your power, all comes together. This is such a great spread. I love this. I haven't seen one like this in a while. But let's see what the owl and I'm not sure what flowers those are. Let's see what these elements in the the High Priestess card have to say. So the snowy owl is... So it says here the owl is the symbol of mystics and seers. It says totem. I don't buy that. The owl is the symbol of mystics and seers. An owl was the companion to the Greek goddess of wisdom, Athena, and it revealed to her hidden truths and keen insights. The owl is a symbol of wisdom in many cultures, and it is a silent creature, and it teaches us the power of silence, contemplation, discernment, and self-knowledge. So, this attitude turns into your final outcome. It's good. You're like actualizing your shit. Nice. Ponderosa pine is native to the western regions of North America. Oh yes, there's pine needles. Your pine is just so wonderfully full of nutrients and things that we need. It's antifungal, it's antiviral, it is jam-packed with vitamin C, and I think even some B vitamins. So if you find some pine, make some tea, or have a bath in it. Like, pine is awesome. And pine cones, like when they start to bud, that makes a really healthy tea as well. The pine cone is the ancestor of the flower, and it holds the seeds of one of the oldest plants on our planet. Cool. It has been called the mystic seed and symbolizes illumination and visionary powers. Okay. The pine stone is also a symbol of fertility and immortality. And then here we have some blue lotus. And lotus root. Like if you just look up lotus, if you look up lotus root, it is full of potassium and all kinds of wonderful stuff. It's like this giant tuber. You can find it like in fresh water, and it's just really great food and medicine. And there's a lot to this card. But the lotus flower, I know, has both masculine and feminine. It's a really great superfood, pretty much. Yeah. So we have a really great spread here. I'm really definitely impressed with this. This is a nice spread. So from conflict comes wisdom. It's like this full circle. And what I, like, conflict is one of those, like, necessary, I keep saying that today, necessary evils. And it just, it's such a great, it's really good to have a healthy attitude towards conflict, and love plays such a key role in that. Love, wisdom, kindness, bravery, it really all comes together. And I think it's so important that if you are in conflict with anyone, to understand that, it may never go, things may never go back to be the same, but it's good to change and create something new from a situation, and do that work that, brings about understanding, communication, right? This is definitely a card of communication. This is your perfect mediator right here. So you could, you may want to look, maybe you're looking into mediation. Maybe you want to be a mediator. But it looks like here, love is definitely ruling over everything. It is like the foundation behind a creative energy. Which is interesting, like, because, the element of fire and water definitely conflict. Water will put fire out, and fire will make water boil. But it's a beautiful thing. Anyways, happy full moon, and see you all again soon. My apologies for not being around on the regular, but, it's summertime, and just go with the flow, folks. So I really appreciate this opportunity that you've listened to my spread, and take it easy. Bye.